In a world where the wealthier you are, the faster you die, a virus that only infects the rich is spreading globally. The teeth of those infected keep turning whiter until they emit a bright white light, at which point the person convulses in agony and faints. Wealthy socialite Amy was on her way to an auction as usual when she unexpectedly discovered on the news that the top 10 names on the Forbes wealth list had died under mysterious circumstances one after another. Although it seemed a bit strange, she didn't pay too much attention to it and still chose to attend the auction in full attire. When she arrived at the venue, it was already packed with wealthy individuals from all over the world. The item up for auction this time was a medieval painting donated by the French royal family, and a count had personally come to the event. In order to gain an opportunity to get close to the royal family, Amy directly raised the bid from 2 million to 20 million, scaring everyone else from competing further. Amy easily won the painting, but suddenly noticed a man in front of her whose teeth were unnaturally white, almost as bright as a fluorescent light. The next second, a violent scream erupted from the auction. Amy stepped forward to take a look and saw the count who had donated the painting convulsing and screaming non-stop. In no time, he had completely stopped breathing. It was only then that Amy realized the severity of the situation. Opening the news, she found that all the reports were about a new type of virus that only infected the rich, and the richer you were, the faster you died. She hurriedly called her secretary and asked him to check the company's stock price for the day. Unfortunately, the company's stock price had tripled that day, which meant that if Amy were to be infected with the virus, her death would be certain. She rushed home and started thinking of ways to save her life. To survive, she would have to donate all her stocks. But who would be the sucker to take them now? She carefully examined her teeth, and fortunately, there were no signs of whitening yet. But just as she breathed a sigh of relief, there was a violent knocking at the door. Opening it, she saw several military personnel. They had received a notice that Amy was a high-risk infected person and now needed to arrange for her to be taken to a unified quarantine zone to ensure her safety. Amy nodded and agreed happily after hearing this. But as soon as she turned around, she quickly grabbed her bag and escaped through the window. She knew that the so-called quarantine was clearly meant to prevent her from running away and infecting others. She called her boyfriend and told him to find the fastest private plane to take off. It was definitely impossible to stay in this place any longer. A large number of wealthy people had already gathered in the suburbs, abandoning their luxury cars and fighting for plane tickets to escape. Fortunately, her boyfriend managed to secure a seat through his connections. He told the wealthy Amy to go first, as he was a poor man and definitely wouldn't be infected by the virus. Amy was overjoyed to hear this. She proposed that her boyfriend could help out a bit more by taking half of her stock holdings, which would help Amy spread the risk of infection. Upon hearing this, her boyfriend was instantly dumbfounded. He never thought that the woman he deeply loved would only see him as a tool. He immediately broke up with her and left the place.